Update: my boyfriend wants traditional gender roles after marriage. Thank you all for your responses. I wanted to update you on what happened and hopefully answer some of your questions along the way. I don't live with him or have any shared assets. He explicitly said that he expects me to continue working, so I guess he wanted the best of both worlds. Before we started dating, I was hesitant due to our age gap. I had heard horror stories, so I was very careful about power dynamics. But he was amazing for the last 3 years, so I eventually let my defenses down. My friends and family liked him, they always said we genuinely seemed happy together and complimented each other well. On to what happened. He came over to my house the night I posted, which isn't unusual. We spend most nights together after work. I knew I had to break up but didn't know how yet. I was still debating whether to ask him more questions or just end it. If I ended it, should I tell him everything or keep it concise? Luckily, he did not suspect anything so far, which bought me some time to figure out my next step. As soon as he came in, he tried to initiate intimacy, and I said no since I was not in the mood. He got angry, which he had never done before. We have always had a very healthy sexual relationship. But now, he kept trying to convince me to have sex and asked why I was putting my needs over his. He said I could just force myself to do it for the sake of our relationship. I told him I wasn't feeling well, though I know I shouldn't have to justify myself. He said that even if I'm not feeling well, it's not an excuse. I was disgusted. I fell out of love in that instant. I was already in the process of it, but this really did it. I also felt very unsafe. I stood my ground, told him that this is not consensual, and that someone's health is more important than his need for sex. I kept repeating it until he eventually stopped pushing, but he didn't leave until an hour later. I was afraid to anger him again by telling him to leave, so I just stayed quiet, doing stuff around the apartment until he decided to go. Luckily, nothing happened to me, but wow. I told my friends and family everything. They support my decision to break up and helped me prepare my speech. I asked him to meet me in a public space the next day, as one of the comments suggested. My friends were nearby, keeping an eye on things. He was still angry at me because I hadn't been talking to him and I refused sex. He asked why I expect him to take care of me when I'm unwell but didn't give him sex yesterday. I decided not to waste my breath explaining something so basic. I went on with my breakup speech as prepared, telling him everything, how disrespectful he's been, and all the podcast stuff. He suddenly looked scared and begged me to take him back. He said he understands what I'm saying and that I'm right about the podcasts and that he will work on it. He tried to convince me not to break up, but I did not believe anything he said. I held my ground and told him there was no room for discussion, it was over, and I left. Now I feel a weight lifted, but I am also heartbroken. I know this was the right thing to do. I just feel defeated. I wake up anxious and feel like crying constantly. I am barely eating. I am seeing a therapist next week to help cope. If you have words of encouragement or success stories of meeting your person, I'd love to hear them. Thank you all sincerely. You helped me find courage and strength in my time of need.
If you liked this video, make sure you hit the like button and comment down below your thoughts. Also don't forget to subscribe and hit the notification bell for more videos like this.